Thanks very much.
Okay, guys, let's get quickly into it. I know some people want us to do a very long presentation. We'll go as long as we need to, guys. But I also want to make it as short as possible because many people from around the world are asking us just to make it short. And what I will do, we'll go in the first 20 minutes and we'll just quickly explain what is happening in the crypto market. And then those people that want to leave can leave. And we will still put up the recording that is done. So Tertius, anything from your side?
Well, just the moves in the last day or two, messing up my charts completely. I thought I'd drawn a nice wedge, and it looks like it's turning into a channel. Very excited to be at this point in time. And something that you said on the recording on the web, the video call, that we're able to get a lot more confidence in this algorithm, because even though it was 4 weeks late, the pattern actually played out. And I think that's for me, that was something that gave me a lot of confidence, and caught me off guard as well, because normally I would have had some risk management in place. If it drops more than 20% or past certain resistance levels, I would have been alerted, gotten out a little bit earlier. But you know what? We're in it for the long term, and I know where it's going. So yeah, Maurice, just from my side, a lot of confidence in what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tertius. Remember what I said, guys. There are 17 different patterns that keep repeating themselves in Bitcoin in a quantifiable mathematical formula. So you never know when they're going to repeat. Like if you look at 17 different patterns, pattern number 1, it could be pattern 1, 7, 5, and 4. And then they will repeat themselves, 1, 7, 5, and 4. But sometimes the 5 and 4 can be turned around. And the 4, which is the dragged out pattern, can happen first, and then the 5 comes later. And this is exactly what happened here, where the drop just happened a little bit later. But now we sit with the issue, are we going to restart the new pattern? Meaning, remember what I said, I believe that we are going to go upwards between 7 and 9, or 6 and 9, somewhere there, 7 and 9 October, that will be the sign of the break upwards. Could it now be that that date is also pushed on? And that is what we are working on right now. We haven't got an answer yet on that, because Bitcoin still has to move. Remember, as Bitcoin moves today and tomorrow and on Saturday, it then gives us a pattern. It's kind of like when somebody draws something and they 10% in the drawing, and suddenly you can figure out what they're drawing. Aha, they're drawing a face. Now you know what it is. The pattern is a face. Or they're drawing a car. Aha, the pattern is a car, although they're not done with it. So we can see the pattern, but in this case, when the market now returns back sharp upwards, like you're seeing what's happening with the market now, we will be able to identify the pattern, and then we can quantify what is happening. But guys, what I can tell you is that our data shows the trend is upwards. And we'll get into that quickly. Now, the leading indicators, I'm going to go through the leading indicators. First of all, you'll see that I make zero money. It's not that I'm not in the business, guys. I'm not building the business because I don't want to be in competition. It's up to you really to go out, make those YouTube videos, put it up, build your database, like what Tertius is doing as well, with all their meetings all around the world. I think you guys just had one, Tertius, in Johannesburg. Yeah, and how many
That's right.
people were there? There were about 300 people, I think. Or
Yeah, I think on the Sunday morning when we had you on, we were about 350 people. At its peak, it was probably close to 450 for the weekend.
yeah, so guys, if
Over
you
3
are,
days.
yeah, and that's fantastic, Tertius. And guys, if you are anywhere else in the world, start your meetings yourself. Grow the business. You have to work it to make money. But anyway, we're not here to talk about money, guys. But you can make insane money. There are people now that in Nigeria, 3 people now who have made over $7,000 in this month, US dollars. And that's a lot of money for people in Nigeria, you know. Now, if you look at the leading indicators quickly here, what we said here is there are 4 distinct leading indicators that I am looking at. And I'm going to go right down to the bottom here. I'm just going to show you BNB. I don't want BNB to distinctively drop below this Python y-axis. And BNB is our top leading indicator. It's the best indicator. To give you an idea, Bitcoin is now approximately there. That is where Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin has got this big move to make, which can take 3, 4, or 6 months. Then a drop, and then a big move up, and then Bitcoin drops. And I can go into that a little bit later at one point or a new webinar and show you why BNB is the leading indicator. And remember, I've always said in the beginning of the year, I said, look at BNB, that is what Bitcoin will do. Now, at one point, Bitcoin will break away from BNB. So it may not 100% play out. But at the moment, if you look at technical indicators, Bitcoin is there, and BNB in terms of date is far ahead of all cryptos in the world. And nobody knows this. Nobody knows this. Okay, let's go down to Litecoin. The second thing is with Litecoin, what we said is that we want to see Litecoin move back up to that brown line. Sorry, not Bitcoin, Litecoin. Yeah. And then the third one was Bitcoin. We don't want Bitcoin to drop below the Python y-axis. It mustn't drop below it. It can come there and touch it, but if it does, it will bounce back very, very quickly. And you saw overnight, I think, I haven't even had a look at the charts yet, but you'll see that it may drop here around about that level there. Remember what I said, that's a cushion. That's a little bit of a cushion. It could drop and bounce. And we'll go into Bitcoin now. And my apologies, I just woke up here at 6 o'clock, so I haven't had a look at the charts yet. I know there was a slight drop in some cryptos. And then the last one here is Ethereum, which we said should go back to 190, minimum 190. So these are the 4 things here. BNB must not break below the Python y-axis. Litecoin must move up to 67. And then Bitcoin must not drop below the 2B algorithm. I think there was just a mistake here. See here where I say on the bottom, Bitcoin got stopped by the 3B algo. That should actually be 2B. So apologies, we'll fix that error later. And then we said that Ethereum must go back to 190. Okay, so let's go to the charts and let's go to BNB quickly and see what happened there. Okay, well, this is perfect. Yeah. Now here you can see that is where I say this is where Bitcoin is. Right at that point, guys. Now you can probably understand why I say what is coming next. See that big move up. And keep in mind that that big move there could be over 3, 4, or even 6 months. That is just an indicator of the trend. It doesn't say what Bitcoin will do. It's just the trend. Now, let's have a look. BNB is just right having resistance there, the Python y-axis. So that is great. Great support there. We'll see in the next 3 hours, we are closing down for the day, and then we'll see what happens. We want to see a green candle on the daily upwards. Now, if it drops below this Python y-axis, that will resemble trouble, provided that Bitcoin does the same. So if we go to Bitcoin, we're just going to look at Bitcoin here. See, there's the Python y-axis. So if BNB drops lower, you'll see that Bitcoin will also drop lower. And if Bitcoin drops below the Python y-axis, remember, guys, what I've said on all the webinars for the last 3 months. If we drop below that line there, the Python y-axis, I am selling everything. Everything. Except now, you know, the long-term coins that we hold. There's long-term coins that we hold that we're just not selling. And many coins that we hold for investors. But I'm talking about my entire portfolio. Now, we believe it or not, but we are far away from that. Now, keep in mind that if you go to the left-hand side of the chart here, you can see that's a resistance level. Okay, when the market went up, it was a resistance level. When the market now comes down, that's kind of like a support level. So if you break that support, there's nothing else holding it up till you get down to about 5,000. And pending, and the momentum will take it down so far that you'll actually break that support level. And that is what we said, that the market could then potentially go down to 1867. So, but guys, this is what I said last time. If the market drops, it will drop very quickly in a week or 10 days, more or less. If it drops here into 1867, the bounce up here will be so quick and so violent, you will miss that spike. It will literally happen in 48 to 72 hours where the market turns back up, and in no time the market will be going upwards. It's a question of simply just watching now the market. I believe that the market is going to bounce here because it's done it every single time in cryptos. Remember, the market has never ever in cryptos dropped, the floor has never dropped out of Bitcoin, meaning that to drop from there where it's 8,000 down to 1867 is really impossible to do. It can drop down yet to the 7,000 level, yes, and then it can come and bounce back here. But BNB mustn't drop too far then. So this is why I say all those 4 indicators, we must keep an eye on that. See, if BNB drops out of this channel here, and let me just make it larger. Remember, there's a channel there. If BNB drops below that channel, let's say around about this P level, and it goes further lower, you're going to see that Bitcoin will also drop lower. But Bitcoin will drop first, and then BNB will drop. So expect maybe support there at about 7,000. But guys, Thursdays or Fridays in Australian time is always, for some reason, a down day. Go and have a look in the history of the charts. And then come Friday, markets shoot up again. Okay, let's quickly look at the other technical indicator, which is Litecoin. We saw overnight that Litecoin actually dropped into that level there, which was about 53, but then overnight, last night, dropped into almost this level here of about 49, the one that we had here of $50.21, 22 cents. Now this is a very good drop. The reason is, look at this outside channel. Can you see that outside channel of the Bollinger Band? As long as Litecoin stays inside, can you just okay. So so there's a little kid there that wants to talk. Okay, cool. Now, as long as Litecoin stays inside that Bollinger Band, and you can see here it dropped outside that band, it moved inside, and it stayed inside that band, and you can see it's starting to turn up now again. So we expect this to break above the blue line, and then I want to see that break above the brown line, the 22 MAE. That's the one that we call the 20. Guys, please, would you mind everybody just to mute yourself? Because the person with the baby, we keep muting you, but then you unmute yourself, or the baby is doing it. Yeah, it's a baby. Okay. What is happening on the call? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we expect that to turn upwards. Now, let's quickly have a look at Ethereum, just the last one here. With Ethereum, what I want to see is that Ethereum moves back upwards in this blue box. And those are the 4 indicators, the technical leading indicators that we are looking at. Once those 4 are complete, we are going to have a uptrend. Now, let's quickly have a look at the last thing that I want to talk about is the date. And I'm going to bring in here the 4-hour chart. Now, remember, guys, I barely trade the 4-hour chart. I never like to look at it, but this one is actually a really good, perhaps a good one to look at anyway. Let me just delete that. Okay, so what we initially said is that the 7th of October and then the 9th of October are really, there are 2 important dates. These 2 dates could resemble the start of the change of the uptrend. Nothing has changed in the sense that this market is going to explode, and Litecoin, you're going to see Litecoin go to to 120. I think it then goes to very quickly 120, something like 220, and then suddenly 450, and then you're going to hit 600. You're going to see this very, very quickly, and there is 1,000% plus in Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP, Digibyte, and Bitcoin Cash. That is still in play. I don't see anything that tells me otherwise. The reason why I don't see anything is because this drop here, remember there on about 24 August, we called that emergency meeting and we said, guys, we see a big drop. Remember, we had about 1,000 people there. We maxed out, and that drop happened, but it got stopped here. And I was really amazed that it dropped there because I had my orders between 59 and 50, like a lot of orders there. And then the market started turning around, and I started buying, and I still left some orders, believe it or not, but at 50. Some orders at $50.20 haven't filled yet, but very little of them because I didn't leave much there. But some got filled overnight. So from what I can see in the order on Bitfinex and Binance, but not much. But most of my orders which I bought was around about 62, 63, 64, and then upwards into about $70. So the market dropped from 70 right into this, which is almost about a $20 drop. But expect that market to come back upwards very, very quickly. Now, Tertius, the question here is really now, what is this market going to do? Now, remember in previous, I don't know where that is, did I delete that now? Okay.
I think previously we were saying it's going to go up to the green box around about 120 to 135, I think, and then it's going to go sideways, maybe come down again. So
and that is the point now. Yeah. And Tertius, this is the point that I said, that it could be that we spike back up again, and just follow me here, and that we still break. And this is a possibility. Just keep it as a possibility, guys. Remember where I said it'll form like a crown there. It'll have one more drop down, not over that time frame, just look at the pattern, and then finally drop, and then be in a range like this, and then break out. But imagine that happening up till about maximum year about 15. So just squeeze that in. Maybe let me just redraw that. I'll see if I can draw it up to, so maybe we could go like this, a bit of a drop there. And what I'm saying, guys, is that we should go up like this. There's one more drop where it actually does come down. It shoots back up again. It comes down, and it goes sideways here, and then breaks out there. So that is, remember this, about 3 months ago. This is the pattern that we had. And what we are saying is that this can still play out. Because if this drop happened, then it's most likely that this could potentially also happen, but at a very, very faster rate. So Tertius, this is where we stand at the moment. Let me quickly go into Populus. Now remember, Populus, in our opinion, now is a buy. I have started buying back PPT. These lines have not yet crossed. Remember, I said that when they cross, I will buy, but I'm just preempting, and I'm thinking if it drops lower, it doesn't matter for me. And I haven't spent a lot of money, guys. It's under $10,000, you know. So in terms of portfolio, it's a small amount. So in terms of a portfolio, you can easily invest 1% maybe, you know, into a portfolio like that, even less. But PPT is going to go back, and mark my words, is going to hit $100 again. It's a huge gain. But what you need to do is just be patient. You just simply hold. With regard to, let's have a look at XRP. My orders got filled at 21. Remember, I've always said in previous webinars that I'm placing my order here at 21. If it hits 21, I'll be happy. It could come back up again and drop perhaps into 21 again. Don't bank on it. But this blue box here, that is a buy zone, as we posted out a day or 2 days ago. Digibyte is a buy zone as well. You know, my orders got filled. I'm happy with Digibyte. As a matter of fact, guys, I haven't got a cent to buy anything more. So,
yeah.
So I don't know, Wendy. We can't eat food this weekend.
Marinda said to me, "Listen, we mustn't pay the creditors at the end of this month. They can wait a couple of days. We'll make more on the crypto than what we'll pay in the penalty fees."
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it's fantastic. Wow, I just got some good news here. With regard to our More project, guys, you guys know that we are drilling water wells in Africa. Just
Yes.
got handed over to me here. And it says that the water well that we are drilling in Suriname is good. So there's now a confirmed water well. They
Fantastic.
stroke water. So for
Well
those people
done.
there in Ghana, that's fantastic.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well done, Morris.
Yeah, guys, and remember, it's everybody, it's all of us. We all at Python Signals contribute to these kind of things. So let's have a look if there are any other questions, guys, and we can quickly go through that.
A lot of
Marius,
questions
I have a
from
question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Go for it, Sue.
Okay. Hey, I've heard like from different people on YouTube that they compare Litecoin to silver, Bitcoin to gold, and Litecoin's going to go 4-to-1 with Bitcoin because of that comparison. And in your algorithms, do you see, or has it shown any indication of it going beyond 3,500, or do you think that's going to stick around 3,500 and then that's it?
So, sorry, just ask you a question again there. I missed the first part.
Okay, so I've heard that from different people on YouTube that they believe Litecoin is a comparison to silver, Bitcoin's a comparison to gold, and they believe that eventually Litecoin might surpass Bitcoin, or Litecoin might go 4-to-1 with Bitcoin. And so I was just trying to figure out, what do you see as a ceiling for Litecoin? Do you think the highest it'll hit is 3,500? Or is it possible for it to break that 3,500?
No, on cryptocurrencies, there's no ceiling on any cryptocurrencies. They can go sky high. If we have hyperinflation, for example, you can see Bitcoin go to $10 trillion of Bitcoin. So it's really irrelevant, actually, And if you watch YouTube videos, we can't comment on those, because, if you go to YouTube, 50 people say market's going to go up and 50 people say the market's going to go down. We distinctively say the market is going to go up. We don't see it dropping further. And remember, we've always said that we're now in cycle 2, the downwards leg. Now we're going to get up. But when it turns around, it's a different story. Now, if you want to compare gold, the price of gold with the price of, let's say, like Litecoin, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. We use the algorithm data of gold, and we incorporate that gold, silver, and apple into one chart, and then we come out with a formula, and that's the one that we use. But you can't really make a comparison between gold and say this is the same price as let's say Litecoin or any other coin. The same way that you can't make a comparison and say because silver is $18, Microsoft is $18 as well, or Microsoft is 3 times the price of silver. It doesn't work. There's no linkage there. I know people link it. Yeah. They try and link it, and people come up with all sorts of crazy stuff that I've seen it, and I go like, wow, where's the data for that?
Okay, all right, appreciate that. And so basically, Litecoin can exceed the 3,500, because I was just trying to figure out different things for my portfolio, and I didn't know if it was stuck, at 3,500, and that was as high as. But pretty much, it looks like you're saying it could go way beyond that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it can. You have to remember that. Remember what I said last week? I said that Digibyte is 1 to 1,000 the price discovery of Bitcoin. Now, if you really go and quantify Litecoin is about a quarter of the price action of Bitcoin, but it doesn't show it in physical terms. It's very low. Sorry, we just need to mute everybody there, guys. Okay. So Litecoin, we can argue and then say if Bitcoin reaches 100,000, that Litecoin should be 25,000. And it could happen. It could easily happen, guys. We see it in our algorithm data. It's just something that I don't want to talk about, because otherwise if I come out and say Litecoin is going to reach 25,000, then everybody's just going to go and say, oh, Litecoin's going to eat 25,000. The same as what we came out and said, Litecoin's going to eat between 3,000 and 4,000, most likely 3,500. Now everybody on YouTube says it's going to go to 3.5. So we don't want to imply to the market that this is going to happen. Guys, you have to remember, the crypto market is not predictable. It's unpredictable. And you are playing literally with fire, but this fire can make you a lot of money if we just play it right. Sometimes we'll have it right. Sometimes we're going to have it wrong. But I see the same signs of 2017 here. And if we play this right, we can make a huge amount of money. You need to be in the market now and to take advantage of this next step. Sorry, I hope we answered your question here, because I'm just going to go to something else here. Did we answer your question, or?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Marius. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's quickly, guys. I'm going to show you this again. This is the, let me just put that on a week. I'm going to go through this really quick. We're about 30 minutes. I'm going to go to the week. Okay. I'm now going to go to the weekly chart here. And I'm just going to clear all this up, just take everything off. Okay. Now remember, guys, this is the chart of Bitcoin from 2011. And now the data that they don't show you here is this data where it goes right down here to 2009. You know, it actually went a little bit sideways there. Now we have even trading data before Bitcoin was released. But from a technical perspective, and I'm quickly going to show this again just for the new people. This is leg 1, there's leg 2, leg 3, 4, and 5. That completes the cycle. Okay, then this is an ABC correction, and I'm just going to put that in there. After a big leg up, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is called the Elliott wave structure. Okay, this could be the ABC correction. And then what happens is you get another impulse wave. Now that impulse wave is most likely that high point there. Then you have a bit of a drop here. The second wave is most likely there. As a matter of fact, if you actually break this up, you'll see it as an extended wave. But for purposes of this now, can you see here now, we've got 5 legs there. Okay, there's your 5 legs. Now what happens is we have another ABC correction. Let's just dumb it down. Because remember, these things shouldn't be difficult. So let's say if that was your A, your B, and your C, there you go. What comes next? If you did this in a kindergarten for 10-year-old kids, 7, 6-year-old kids, and you ask them what comes next, they're going to say to you, this comes next. So let's just move this up here. Okay, there is 0. There is 1. There is 2. How that 2 can go lower, it doesn't matter. It can go sideways, it doesn't matter. What matters is what comes next, is the 3rd leg. And then comes number 4, and then finishes number 5. And in the beginning of this year, we said that this is going to go to 350,000. I don't know if you can recall that. And we said that this is going to go to 80,000. Go back and you'll see, this is what we said. And we even said that we're going to come to a top here. We didn't know exactly where the top is going to be. Around about 12, 14,000, that was the range. But can you point it exactly to the dollar, like $12,921.20? No, nobody can. But we can give a range. It's like I'm saying this range here, 80,000. If it gets into 60,000, that's fine as well. You know, so it's a range. And then this one here, 350. That is what it shows. Now, guys, this is what we are looking for next. This big move here, this 3rd leg, is the most violent leg going upwards. If I were to take this percentage gain from this bottom here right to that number 3, minimum, well, even Bitcoin, there we go. Even Bitcoin has the potential to go up 1,000%. I've never done that, but I just look at it now. So if we take that low point there we go, 1,000%. So let's go. It doesn't really work like this, but let's go and put 1,000% here and just see where that takes us. 1,000% is, well, that's actually interesting. It takes us to about 90, well, it's about 80,000, yeah. Isn't that interesting, actually? So it really takes us to 80,000 and then to about 350. This is the next move up. Now, let's move that aside and let's clear this up. Let's say after this ABC correction that we must break down. If we break down from here, which is a probability, it can happen, what you will have is another ABC correction. So it will literally go like this. It could go up and then a big move downwards. And if that move gets momentum, that is where it can hit that 1687 level. So 1687. And remember that 1867 level is when we were here at the bottom, when we hit that bottom at 3125, remember that we said in December and January that we could still go to 1687 or 1867. Sorry, the figure is wrong there. So you could see an ABC correction here, an uptrend there, and an ABC correction there. But if that happens, it will be unheard of, guys. It has never ever happened that you have an ABC correction there, a first leg up, which is 5 legs up. One, you know, what I mean with the 5 legs, let me just zoom in here. This pattern here will have 5 legs. And it will literally be impossible. Like this one here will be 1, 2, and then you have your 3 there, 4, and your top there. So you get an ABC correction here, a small uptrend, and then another ABC correction. It's unheard of. If this happens, it will be pure manipulation and institutions driving the price completely down. But here is the key, guys. How many institutions are there? There's not just one, there's not just 2, there's possibly 10 or 20, and in the future there's going to be 100 institutions. There are going to be institutions, now listen to this very carefully, guys. There are going to be institutions that has bought Bitcoin at this level here of $8,000. Now, some institutions may want to drop the price down. Do you think institution number 1 that bought at 8,000 is going to allow them to drop it at this low level? No. Those same institutions sit with trillions of dollars. If they see the market goes to 6,000, they will spend billions and buy it. And then it drops to 3,000, they spend $1 billion and buy it again. And they will buy and keep on buying. Ultimately, this price will go up, down, up, down, up, down, and it must break out. So the institutions where they are now our enemy, because there's not many of them on board yet, like Grayscale and all the ones that I mentioned in, when I spoke about Bakkt, when all these institutions start spending money and coming in, it's going to create an influx in the price of Bitcoin that you've never seen. Now, here is the key. They won't be able to buy Bitcoin, neither will you or me. You won't be able to buy 1 Bitcoin. You won't be able to buy 5 Bitcoin. People won't be selling their Bitcoin. What is going to happen? And mark my words, this is going to happen, guys. I've said that many times. What's going to happen is you will only be able to buy certain altcoins. Like you will have to go to Litecoin. You will have to go to Digibyte, XRP, the liquid coins. This is why we have those 5 coins. And that's why I say focus on those. Because when they can't get their hands on Bitcoin, you will get your hands on Bitcoin. It's just going to be very difficult because there are more people buying. And every person will pay $10 more for the next Bitcoin. And the price will just go up and up and up. And you and me, we can't play that game because we haven't got the resources. We haven't got the facilities. These guys go OTC and they just buy. So, Tertius, this is an interesting thing that is going to happen with cryptos, which we saw 6 months ago. And this is why I said, just trust me in this. Remember this, I said here on the bottom, I said if you have $50,000 and you start with that $50,000, the potential at the end of our high cycle, wherever that number 5 point ends. See that 5? Wherever that 5 ends, let me just grab that 5. That 5 will end somewhere here. Sorry, there it is actually, that high point. Wherever that high point is, whether it's 350 or whatever, from 50,000, you could potentially make $7.2 million. And you'll see, when we get to that point, you'll see that. Now from here, this rise that we had here from 15 December till the max there is about 370%. Guys, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what's coming next. And remember, I'm only talking about Bitcoin. By the end of this month, as soon as Bitcoin has moved back up, I'm going to move my Bitcoin into altcoins. And I'm just waiting for the right timing to do it. You can literally do it now. Although Bitcoin is at 8,000, I can sell it and move that into Litecoin, and I get a whole bunch of extra Litecoin. Because remember this, for Bitcoin to move from 8,000, or let's say from 10 to 20 and from 20 to 40 is reasonable difficult. But is it more difficult for example, Ethereum to go from 150 or let's say 200 to 400 to 800? It's not difficult. It's more difficult for Bitcoin to do it. But we're going to see these levels of $700. You're going to see on Bitcoin Cash, you're going to see this level of $2,000 hit, because this blue line is the other line that I'm looking at. Remember this blue line here? This one was the algorithm low. And for example, we always said on Bitcoin Cash also, I said that this ABC correction, that low doesn't look right. It must be lower than that A. And remember, I've always said that, and that's why I always left it here. And lo and behold, that is where Bitcoin Cash came down. Guys, I really believe that this is the low. Okay, let's have a look at what I just showed. I showed that, let me just clear this entire chart. Remember what I showed? I said that we still have to have, according to the past history now, just very simple stuff now. This is not even complicated. That this is leg 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now let's have a look. I think no, I haven't got that up here. Anyway, you guys know the Wall Street cheat sheet. So the Wall Street cheat sheet, remember what I showed on the left-hand side of the chart, that we're heading down to that point, and you're now going to see that big upwards move. Guys, this is what Wall Street does. You go and have a look at the Apple shares. Apple is played exactly like the Wall Street cheat sheet. What comes next in Apple here is perhaps a big move up, and then Apple is going to, I'm still working on Apple, but Apple could still make a big lunge upwards, and then it's going to do this. It's going to do the Wall Street cheat sheet. Why? Because that's what Apple does. That's what Wall Street does. And then it's going to go like this. Okay? Mark my words, you'll see in a few years from now. Okay, this runs over a multi-year period. But now take into account any other coin or crypto or stock market, like Apple and Amazon. You'll see they always do the Wall Street. It's because it's manipulated. The whole market is manipulated, and they just call it the psychology of people. In a sense, it is psychology of people, but it's still heavy manipulated. Okay, Tertius, yeah, that is about it.
Thanks very much, Maurice. Yeah, we got. I have a sneaking suspicion that we have a lot of new members on the call tonight. A lot of guys doubting the fact that there is even an algorithm, not realizing that you've been doing this for the past 3 years almost, and that we are benefiting hugely from anything else out there. Guys, if you're not happy with what you get here, you're welcome to go elsewhere. There's thousands of us following Maurice's signals and following the patterns. At the end of the day, it's your decision when to get in, when to get out. Maurice teaches us to ladder in, to ladder out, always have some spare cash available. You know, be prepared for the spike. Have your risk management in place. Develop a strategy and stick with that strategy. You know, it's no use just coming in and watching the last 2 videos and then think you're going to make a killing. You have to get rid of the get rich quick mentality. It does take some learning, And one of the examples I've used recently is, you know, to say to somebody, if they've done a degree or any kind of tertiary education, it probably took you a couple of years to become competent at what you were studying. And now all of a sudden you want to be an expert trader after watching 3 videos and trading for a week. It just doesn't work like that. So ideally, I always say to guys, when you've got a sideways market, make sure you do a lot of trades, because that's the place you can learn, and it's safe, and you don't have a lot of volatility, because when it is volatile, then you don't want to make mistakes. So, you know, Maurice, I think that's it from me. We haven't discussed Ripple. I think you mentioned that Ripple is also a buy signal, if I'm correct, or you have bought some Ripple. What are the expectations there, Maurice?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if you look at XRP or Ripple is just dropped into 21 cents, and it definitely is a buy. That's one that we send out and said we are buying Ripple now. Remember, we always say that we're waiting and waiting and waiting for Ripple and DigiByte, but you can really buy that now. Where it could drop a little bit. I don't think it's going to drop lower than that level there. That's what we said the other day. You can see that the other coins like Litecoin dropped lower. I think Bitcoin Cash dropped a little bit lower. Ethereum didn't. DigiByte didn't, and XRP didn't. It shows you the strength, but it will go up and drop slightly. The algorithm data shows this line. See that purple line, and a bit of a drop here, upwards, sideways, and then a breakout here with a return here, and then it shows that it goes up for 21 days, and at that point we get out. Since we get this breakout, now see this blue line here, that is the algorithm data. This line here, which is 17 June 2019, that is the break point. And then this line here, which is 28 June 2019. If you connect that line there straight forward, it shows that exactly at this point, guys, at 31 to 32 cents, this is where institutional money is going to buy. Exactly at that point. And when you see me put this in the major buy algorithm break, believe it or not, but this is what financial institutions are using as well. So we pick it up from their data as well, and then we work it out in our data. Let me just quickly explain. Maybe some people are new, and I'll just quickly explain where the data comes from. Not everything, guys, are algorithm data, but we use, this is how we weigh what we do. The advanced algorithm artificial intelligence is about 42%. The rest is proprietary and conventional behavior standards. And I can go into that one day, you know, but behavioral, the standards are, there are 21 standards. And those are, it's kind of similar to the stuff that you do, Tertius, in ISO. I can't remember all these things now. Yeah, there was certain, yes, exactly. There are certain standards that we build in, and we match the data that we have against the standards, and we give it a quantifiable number, and then we get in, and then we import that into our data. We look at market conditions. The market conditions include, for example, what is happening in the Senate in America. What is the president saying? What is the news media saying? Guys, you won't believe it, but those things are very important. And this is why I say this is also algorithm data. Like, for example, in the beginning of the year when we had the American shutdown, and for those people that say that the algorithm doesn't work, let me just show you. In the beginning of the year, we were here at the bottom. Exactly at that high point here on 23 December, somewhere around there, we had the American shutdown. For 40 days, the market went down. That whole play shouldn't have been that long. And that play there, go back in history and have a look at that. That was a direct result of what happened in America with the shutdown. Remember that? The entire world was dead quiet. Dead quiet. No news, nothing. So this is market conditions that we take into effect. We take into effect market cap as well. For example, the caller who just asked that question before about, you know, silver, the market cap, you know, price versus silver versus whatever, how high can it go, and then we work it backwards. We look at market capability. For example, our usable coins. Who is using Litecoin? What are they using Litecoin for? What are they using Digibyte for? What is the capability of these coins? Then the other one is 8%, which is sentiment. Guys, this is a complicated thing. Many people don't understand it. And think about this now, guys. Before I came around in the crypto world, people were like chickens all over the place. Nobody knew where to pick. I know that because I was the first one in the world to come out with this analysis and bring these reports out. What has now happened is that a lot of people take our data, they've been educating themselves now, and they come out with their own analysis as well. We were the first in the world. Go back in 2016 and you'll see. And we still do it, but our system is better. Now, we won't have it always correct, but I tell you what, stick with me and you're going to see how you're going to make thousands of percent gain, because we are not day traders. And then we look at social media status and reporting. We've got a direct link into Facebook, into Twitter, and that's where we pull our data out. Sometimes I would post a tweet. You may say, yes, that's a weird tweet. Why is Marius tweeting that? Guys, guess what? We analyze what people think about the tweet and what they say. I use that. I use it for my own advantage. Then we've got operational manipulation, which is about 4%. That still doesn't work really well. We can see when people are going to manipulate the market, but we can't really see it. And then undisclosed. Undisclosed, guys, is really just simple. We look at the sun, the moon, and the stars. So the only reason I say undisclosed is because certain religious people will think that we are mad and that we are from the devil. But guys, when Jesus was born, there was a star in the sky. And the sun, the moon, and they all move in synchronization. God designed it like that. So we look at these kind of things too with a skeptical eye, I must say. But and we're not woo-woo. We're not like that. We look at objective data. And that's the only reason why it is. So it's a complicated method that we use, but I have found that it works. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of people that have become millionaires just by using the data that we have. And one thing, Tertius, what I want to say to people here is, guys, be patient. Be patient. Look what happened here, and I want to show you this. This market here should have broken out exactly there. Exactly there on 6 August, it should have broken out. I was amazed when it actually broke down and we came down. This whole thing that you see here now, I'm going to show you something here. If I take the bars pattern here and I'm going to duplicate all these trades right up till there. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. Okay. That is what it should have looked like. Let me make that just a nice dark green, and I'm going to show you now. That is what the market should have looked like as of today, guys. And guess what? Let me put a price label there. Remember I said 19,666 was our target. 19, let's just put that 19,666. It still shows that data. We're still going to hit that target. That is where we should have been now. So instead of the market going upwards, we just had an inverse cycle, which I've only seen once before in Bitcoin, if you go back through all the charts. But the only reason that can happen is when there is deliberate price suppression. The last time this happened, and I've shown this a few times, was on this top here of May. See that top there, guys? In real terms, what should have happened here is that one there should have actually broken out upwards as well. And we had a big, so that is what it should have done. A very small mini ABC correction and then a breakout upwards. So, and your ABC correction for that one was basically, you know, if you look at your A, your B, your C correction here, or you can put that there. You can do it like that too. So in effect, that was the ABC correction according to our algorithm. And this was a failed call similar to what we have here. And we don't hide it, Tertius. When we make a failed call, we don't hide it. We come out and say, listen, guys, this is the case. But what I've had told everybody, I said, listen, you can sell there and just wait. And then we came out and we showed how every single altcoin. Remember, we showed this drop on Bitcoin Cash. We had this drop, guys, on Litecoin. We had this red algorithm line, and we said it's going to come and drop here right to that point. But that drop didn't happen here; it just happened a little bit later. Anyway, guys, I don't want to justify my calls here. You know, it's like as Tertius says, you know, you don't have to be here. But I can tell you what, guys, the ones that are here, you're going to make an insane amount of money. We will not have the world's largest crypto subscription base if our calls were fake, if all our calls were fake. With my own subscription and Python Signals, we well over 14,000 members. Guys, this is crazy stuff. I can't believe it myself either. And people are happy. If you look at all the emails we get, and Wendy's sitting here next to me, I mean, the emails are coming in one after each other. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. And I know there are people that, like a certain person, I don't want to mention your name now. He said he's going to come on and say how bad our calls were. Guys, we just work with us.
Yeah, Maurice, you know, I think from some of the comments I've seen, it almost feels like some of the guys perhaps have been part of these pump and dump groups. They used to, you know, buy. Oh, no, you must sell. Guys, if you've been around for more than 2 or 3 years, you will absolutely appreciate the value that we're getting here. One of the questions that we had is about, you know, especially with this recent drop in all of the altcoins, is that giving us a change on the BTC dominance and on the granular cycle? Are you expecting any changes there?
No, you mean the overall granular cycle upwards?
Yeah, we're still on track with, but specifically the Bitcoin dominance. I know we reached the high of about 72, and it started going down as the altcoin value went up. But over the last 2 days, anything unexpected on the Bitcoin dominance?
Tertius, no, really not. Let's quickly have a look at the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is perfectly. I had a look at it last night. I haven't looked at it now. There it is. Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, there we go. Perfectly on track, guys. Look at that. You see, you see exactly what we said with going up. See this A, B, C, D, E. That is the drop of the Bitcoin dominance, and we believe it can actually go a little bit lower. And I think the last one I said was about, sure, I can't remember what I said now. Was it 23% or 32? I can't remember now. But nonetheless, guys, when we get to that, I'll work that out again. But look at this. This is your first leg down. Your second leg is actually a drop, a way bigger drop. Now, we are now in this drop, number 4 to 5. And let me just take that out there, and you'll see what I mean. Can you see that's a drop? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And let me just move that back. Maybe just make that a little bit thinner and just a different color. Doesn't work like that. Anyway, so you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the drop there. So that is what's potentially going to happen now is that it's expected that Bitcoin is going to move downwards. This means that Bitcoin will be suppressed in price going upwards. But even if Bitcoin goes up, you're going to see that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. So this is why I said by the end of the month, around about now, I'm going to start moving my Bitcoin into Litecoin. Slowly, but at the end of the day, I plan to not have any Bitcoin because cryptocurrencies will outperform Bitcoin. And that move will start here between B and C. That will be a big move. Now, expect it to come down here, then Bitcoin will move up a little bit again. I don't know how far or how high. We'll work on that. But then we have a big plunge, like a big drop. And this is going to be a parabolic move upwards in altcoins. You can see why I say that is still coming. Now, overall, last year we did a market cycle. We call it a granular cycle. And that granular cycle, Tertius, is still 100% in play. But remember, guys, the problem is, let me quickly have a look at this. The problem is, okay, here is Litecoin. on the day chart. That is what I like to trade. But now most people want to go and have a look and see why is that that red candle there? And then people go to this one here, which is now the 4-hour chart. And now they zoom in and they see, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because remember, it's 4 times 6 is 24. That's 1 day. And they go, that's what it's doing. But then people want to go even up to 15 minutes. Guys, you can't trade the market like this, you know. We are not day traders, because now what happened is 15 minutes ago, that's an hour to 3 hours ago, the market started dropping. And so people see this, wow, that's a big waterfall drop. Whilst if you have a look at it on the day chart, it gives you perspective. It dropped, but it's coming back, you know. I sometimes just use the 4-hour chart just to see this Bollinger Band. And guys, you can just go and type it into your indicators. Just say Bollinger Band. And then you'll have an idea. You see, we are still staying inside that Bollinger Band, and see it's just curling upwards here. So it tells me that this is going to go like that. And that's going to go like that. And then this market is going to go above there, and it will stay above that, and maybe somewhere you have a breakout probably. So that's just in the 4-hour chart. Just if you look at technical stuff now, you know. But guys, for me, remember this, what I'm looking at the trend. If we go back to this thing here, I'm only interested in the trend. And this one says to me, that is your impulse wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this level, when it drops, I buy as much as I can. As I said, I don't think we've got a cent left now. I've bought everything there, right on the bottom. What about Litecoin?
People are asking, what is the best farming opportunity right now?
There's no farming opportunity right now, guys, in Litecoin. You just need to accumulate now. Is that the question?
You know, yeah, for the guys who want to farm, watch the videos. There's a good training video in the back office. Go back a couple of weeks and watch the blogs and the market updates. Get yourself a background of at least 2 or 3 months, so that you can get an idea of the kind of signals that are coming out and how this market moves, how Marius is communicating with us. Don't expect to attend one meeting and then all of a sudden you're an expert. Just doesn't work like that.
That's a good point. And guys, you might think I'm an expert as well, but I learn so many new things. Every week I learn new things. So yeah, we all work on this together. All I can tell you now is, guys, this is an accumulation stage. You buy. And let me just say this, Tertius, I said it last week as well. I think with Litecoin, I bought here at 135. We expected the market to go a little bit higher here. It didn't. And remember, right at that top there, right at that top was when Binance and Bitfinex closed their exchanges. Remember that day? And suddenly I saw the market dropping. We wanted to sell.
You couldn't get out.
We couldn't get out.
Yeah, you couldn't get it out. Yeah.
And then the market, it was crazy stuff, you know. But then I decided, okay, well, I bought at 130. I'm going to leave it there. I still own those. I don't care, you know. And I sold a percentage of my Litecoin as we came down, and I started buying back here on the bottom. So I'm all happy. I sleep like a baby. Last night, I mean, I slept like a baby. Wendy had to shake me awake this morning and say, listen, come on, wake up. It's 6 o'clock. You've got a meeting. I don't fear about these things. The reason I don't fear, guys, is because of this. I've got this imprinted in my mind. In my office, I've got these things printed out, and they're on the side of the walls. I look at them every day, and that's what I see. There won't be a big financial collapse this year. Everybody's looking for it. Guys, it just won't happen because the governments around the world are propping up everything. Financial markets is so strong. I can tell you now, you know, that a few things that we see, and remember, we do political work as well with our algorithm. I do that in the oil and gas industry. And for those people that say that they don't think we've got an algorithm, call Shell. I do work for Shell, guys. I do work for every single major oil and gas company. I'm well known all around the world. You can literally call them and they will say, yeah, they know about me. I'm the only one that does this work in the oil and gas industry. Nobody else does it. We take the data of oil and gas companies, of fatalities, near misses, and incidents, specifically with drilling and completions. And then what I do, I analyze this data with my team. We import the data. Now, based on your past history of this algorithm, we can predict now and say if you are going to have a fatality, a near miss, or an incident. Now, you name the company: Shell, BP, Woodside, Santos, QGC, BG Group. I've done work for them. Schlumberger, Halliburton. I've done work for them. Go onto my website, mariuslandman.com. You'll see my bio there. Why would I lie about it? I mean, people would have picked it up a long time ago. Go on my LinkedIn account where I'm linked to Shell, BP, Woodside, Halliburton. Call them and find out if it's the truth. we won't lie about these things, guys. Anyway, Tertius, yeah.
Yeah, Morris, there's been a couple of questions about KBC, and there's no new news there, guys. With the exception, perhaps, of information we've received, because there are there's an issue with coins being scammed. When the KBCs get moved onto the Karatbit blockchain, that transition is going to happen through the Karatbit exchange. It will not be supported on other exchanges unless they have KYC in place and Karatbit know where those coins are going to be. Because unfortunately, anonymous people have gotten hold of a large number of KBC coins. So the advice is to make sure that you have a Karatbit account, get your KBCs on there before